Hello. Hello, fellow earth dwellers. I haven't done this in a minute, but this is going to be a tarot video, so if you don't want to watch it, click off right now. Let's see what is going on in the collective today. This is exactly what type of energy I was picking up before I even started this. So, okay, clearly I need to talk about it. So somebody is coming out of a situation. You could be feeling like you were almost deceived in some way. I'm getting that it's not like, I mean, it's going to be different for everybody realistically, but there was some type of illusion or deception that was cast around a specific area of your life. Could be like having to do, I'm getting like it has to do with a concept, right? Like some type of belief system or structure within your mind. There was an illusion cast over it. And now you are coming into balance with the other side of the coin, I guess. Like, say you had, let me try and break this down. Say you had a really specific belief system targeted towards one end of a spectrum, and you felt really, really solid in that. But now you are going through a period where you're kind of being forced to look at the other end of the spectrum and move away from that delusion or illusion of thinking. Like you were too far on the end of that spectrum. You had to come back to a more balanced place of belief. Because the thing is, when you go, and trust me, I'm a fucking expert on this shit. I take things to the extreme very often. And sometimes it takes me going fully into one extreme in order to bounce back. Sometimes I go to the opposite end, and then I find a middle ground, right? So I'm feeling the same type of energy, especially from the cards that just came out, that you were really extreme in one way of thinking, and now you're being exposed to the other end of things. It's not to say that you're necessarily living it, but there is a illumination of it, right? So you're able to see it, and you could be questioning some things, right? And breaking down structures that once felt so solid. You could be breaking down structures that once felt so solid in order to look at the other end of the spectrum and go, wait, there is a more balanced way that I can incorporate all of this. And as I'm saying that, I'm getting that, or I'm feeling like when you do come to this balance, that is your most authentic form of belief or form of expression, whatever it may be, right? Because oftentimes when we go too far into one direction, like I said, we're lacking the awareness of looking at the opposite end. So from that standpoint, we're discrediting a whole other end of a spectrum of something, whether it be a belief, whether it be fucking anything, right? We are discrediting a whole other side of it. So the thing about the world is, or the universe, or whatever laws are in place, right? At least this is from my own understanding, is that there's two sides to everything. And the only thing that changes what side you look at is your own perception. So when you look at both sides, you're able to then have a holistic view and be able to create your own authentic perception or outlook on whatever the general genre of whatever you're looking at is. I hope that makes sense to somebody. I feel like in my brain that makes sense. Yeah, judgment. So you're coming to your own judgments about this situation by looking at both ends of the spectrum and walking away from some sort of illusion or disillusionment. For some of you, this could have to do with certain belief systems surrounding religion or just like spirituality. But like I said, it could be different for different people. So, I mean, take it as it resonates always. Also, don't just take my word for it, right? You were given critical thinking in order to figure your own self out. So just let me be a guide to help you think about things more critically and help impose certain insights that you maybe haven't thought of, right? Because that's the whole thing about all the cards that I just drew and all the energy that I just picked up on, is you are trying to figure out what you believe in. Like what is it that you resonate with? And in order to do that, you need to be exposed to different concepts, you need to be exposed to different viewpoints. And listening to certain people talk can help unlock that, because we're all just messengers for each other. Let's see. Okay, yeah. A lot of things surrounding tradition. So again, if this does have to do with belief systems surrounding religion or belief systems surrounding spirituality, you could be looking at certain beliefs that you were raised with. And again, it doesn't have to be necessarily those two. It could be like, for instance, around money or something like that. Certain belief systems that you were raised with that you didn't really even realize you were taking in as your own, when really that's just something that's been projected onto you, right? So now you're getting a clear sight of that. See the disc on his head? If you look at ancient Egypt, a lot of very powerful figures have that disc on their head, and it represents wisdom. It represents some type of connection with the all, so it translates into wisdom that you are getting from the all, I guess. So what I mean by that is it's almost like I'm getting the vibe of like you're getting, it doesn't have to be like downloads, right? I feel like sometimes when people, especially people who are not like really spiritually inclined, hear the word downloads, there's a certain connotation to it, but you could be getting certain insights, right? Or like realizing things, like maybe you're put in a situation where you are an observer and you are looking at the situation from a place where you're not so attached to it like you would usually be. So you're looking at it as an observer and you're realizing, oh, that's why I have this type of belief, because you're seeing a situation play out in front of you where maybe it's family members or even like society from wherever you are. You're being able to look at that and see, I have this underlying programming, even though, because everything's on a spectrum, right? So for instance, a good example would be if you are from the West, right? Christianity is really big. Me personally, I was never raised in a church. My family wasn't very religious, right? Okay, I apologize, my camera just died. But as I was saying, if you're from the West, like Western culture, right? Christianity is so infused into a lot of Well, everything. Look at our money, you know? It says, in God we trust. Like, Christianity, because of our past, has been infused into so much shit that if you're someone like me who wasn't raised in a church, there is still programming that I catch myself in sometimes that has to do with Christianity, even though that's not really my religion to claim. And it's not something that I really like. Like, no shade against Christians. Like, everybody should believe in what they feel like they resonate in or resonate with. But for me personally, it's not something that I fully resonate with. Like, it's very complicated, right? I'm not going to get into that because that's going to be a whole different video. But what my point is there are certain things that I will catch myself either saying or acting out, which comes from a place of programming that I didn't even think I had because I wasn't immersed in that culture. So when you think about it into relation of what I'm saying, that is the type of vibe that I'm picking up. And it doesn't have to be specifically Christianity or anything like that, but I'm saying there could be situations where you're looking at your culture as a whole, or maybe your family or something, and there's certain underlying programs that you have in place. And that's not a bad thing. It happens to all of us. Like, y'all, there's a reason why I love hypnosis. Like, we're constantly being hypnotized by fucking everything. It's a little scary, actually, but it's not a terrible thing. But the good thing is, like, you are becoming aware of that you have that programming, and that's the first step into deconstructing it. And that's what I'm seeing happen right now. So you can find something that you truly, truly resonate with. Maybe it's not even real, right? It's not even like something that, like, if we're speaking in terms of like religion or like beliefs, spiritual beliefs or practices, it could be something that's not, it doesn't have a label or it doesn't have a box. Like, you're kind of creating it as you go and figuring out what's right for you. And that is fucking awesome. Like, I think everybody should do that. So this energy I like a lot, okay? So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, with memories, like, you're having some sort of insights, or like looking back on your past maybe, where it's like you did kind of take on some sort of projection or indoctrination that led to this illusion or disillusionment or projection, or there's something like that going on, and you are taking an action in order to kind of liberate yourself and come to your own understanding about whatever it is, whether it be money, success, beliefs, spiritual beliefs, just ways of life, right? Your way of life, your way of being, your understanding of everything. And I'm seeing that you're doing this in a way where, like, yes, you're taking action, but it may not even really seem like you're taking action, because the action is you being still and actually observing the situation and thinking about it. Like, a lot of it is happening in your mental space instead of your physical space right now. So don't be hard on yourself if you feel like you need to be doing more at this moment, because you are doing it. It's just, it might not be how do I say this? Not the right action. Maybe that's how you're feeling, you know? Like, you feel like you need to be physically doing more, and in your head that's right, but the right action right now is not doing that. It's happening here. And then the action comes later, you know? Okay, let's see what else I can get on this situation. I do get the sense that when this does happen, like once this cycle is complete about you reevaluating whatever you're reevaluating, new people or new opportunities will be pulled into your life because of this crossroads. So it's almost like there's a choice point, right, that's going on in your head without you really realizing it. So there's this fork in the road. You can either take this way or this way. Oh my God, this is totally changing it. This happens to me sometimes. I'll start saying one thing and then like, it's almost like a just total different thing comes out, but it makes a lot more sense. So thank you for whatever that is, universe. But you can either go this way or you can go this way, but instead you're like, no, fuck this shit. I'm gonna go in the middle. And by doing that, it's going to bring more people and more opportunities that actually align with that center view, that center value, that like fuck with you, right? Like it's going to attract new people. It could be attracting new money. But yeah, you're in a huge place of like, it's almost like a limbo, or like a kind of like a purgatory vibe, right? Like you're in this like transitional phase, but that's going to turn around once this cycle is complete. Okay, I want to know what your biggest challenge is right now as you go through this situation. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm seeing for your biggest challenge, this is pretty hefty, but for your biggest challenge, it's getting stuck up in the emotions of nostalgia or falling back into that illusion because it feels safe and comfortable. Also feeling like there's a sense of you being stuck in it. And then feeling like so basically another challenge that's coming up is confusion leading to inaction, right? So I have the Two of Swords and then I have the Queen of Wands in reverse. If you guys wanted to know the whole reason why I said the beginning part about nostalgia and being caught in the disillusion is because of this little spread right here. But anyways, before I get too wrapped up, another one of your challenges is as you go through this, feeling like you can't make a decision or can't come to some sort of understanding or agreement, and that's leading to inaction. So my best advice is as you move through this cycle, just really construct and deconstruct what is being projected onto you or what has been projected onto you. Why do you, just ask yourself, why do you believe these certain things, and look into that a lot more until you can get to a point where you're like, okay, I have this belief because of X, Y, and Z. Like try and find evidence for yourself. One of the most wonderful functions of the brain is whatever we focus on, we can start to find evidence of something, right? So like, I just saw this video kind of representing that, where they tell a guy to look at everything brown in the room. So our belief at that point is, or our objective in that point is finding things that are brown in the room. When we do that, our brain will automatically support that kind of function. So right off the bat, you'll be looking around and you'll start to see all the brown things in the room. And even if something isn't fully brown, but maybe it's like a tan or close to a brown, your brain will still pick that up as being brown because it wants to support the drive of it, right? It wants to help complete the task, complete the goal. So with that being said, if you have something that you resonate with, really look into that, but also try and keep your mind open to both sides of things, right? Look into what has been projected onto you, especially surrounding fear, now that I'm looking at all of this. If you have certain beliefs attached to fear, that can be a really good thing to look at and kind of crack down on what causes you to have the fear in the first place, and if that comes from something that you even really resonate with or not, that can be really helpful. And then there also needs to be a sort of decisiveness, and that's why I'm telling you to help try and find evidence to support you. Yeah, I feel like that's mainly the message right now. Hopefully whoever needs to hear this hears it. Whoever needs to reflect on stuff like this reflects on it after listening to me talk about it. Like I said, this is like a really good energy, at least in my eyes, because I think a lot of people need to challenge their own beliefs, especially things that look, I challenge my beliefs constantly. I am constantly playing devil's advocate in my mind. And because of that, yes, it can lead to confusion, but it can also lead to really, really clear, I wanted to say clarity. It can lead to really clear vision surrounding a certain topic, right? Because you're able to see it from both angles. Okay, I hope you catch my drift. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. I have a lot of stuff that I need to do in my life, but I literally think about you guys every single day. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I have an email address in my bio if you want to link, or if you want to get a personal reading with me. So just so you know, that is there. I love you so much, guys. Please take care. Until next time, I am so happy to see what the outcome is for you. Goodbye.